Hi, my name is Leahy. I was just interviewed by the awesome, incredible Keith Andrew. He's doing really, really wonderful work and spreading absolutely amazing awareness and inclusion throughout the galaxy. So definitely check out the Keith Andrew Network.
Hi. Hi, my name is Brendan Lynch. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew, and he is an awesome dude, really, really, really cool podcast, and is spreading some amazing awareness. So definitely check him out. That's Keith Andrew Network. Hit him up.
The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's prove to them and stem out to something. With that being said, it's uncensored, freedom of speech, self-expressing, but it is PG-13. But I'm going to start off with my beautiful guests. So the first question I want to ask you is, you've done so amazing things in your life. You're a professional actress, model, singer. Who inspired you to do these amazing things?
Well, I mean, I was that kid that really never fit in anywhere. But I was that kid that always wanted to always doing voices and memorizing movie lines. And when I was about 8, it just hit me that like people actually do this for a career, and like they do this with their lives. I'm like, this looks like so much fun. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly who inspired me, but it's pretty much just an eclectic mixture of Disney and Star Wars and any kind of nerdy trilogy that you can get your hands on. That's totally, I'm all for those. And the beautiful thing about those is not only are they well written, well acted, but they're stunning in pretty much every aspect. And that's just something I really wanted to be a part of.
No, absolutely. You know, you bring up Star Wars. Yeah, I'm more of a Trekkie fan. But for me, I have to hold my 2 fingers down. A lot of people are like, oh, look at that. Yeah, whatever. It's all in the hand. But you mentioned Star Wars. Did you like 1, 2, and 3, or did you think those were just horrible?
Honestly, I grew up on watching all 6.
Likewise.
As a small child, I liked, 1, 2, and 3 because Hayden Christensen. And, also Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson. Right. Big fans of both of them. Natalie Portman as well, obviously. But, I mean, there's just so many incredible actors. But I think for me, I love everything Star Wars. I don't discriminate.
That's true. Darth Vader's the best part out of it. And my family likes to make jokes about, well, I can tell you this funny story after we hear from Brandon. Brandon, I do have one request. If there's a way you can turn your camera sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There we go.
Get that beautiful face.
Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties. I want to make sure I got the background, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting. I felt terrible that I was a little bit late. So, but I got the logo, everything. We're good. Keith Andrew Network, everyone.
No, perfect. So the same question I want to ask you. You're a professional actor. What can you tell us about who inspired you to start your career?
I was probably inspired that you guys are talking about Star Wars. Obviously that was big for like every kid. Like every kid that growing up, I mean, Star Wars was the best. And if you want to go in like to particulars, Harrison Ford and all those movies, he looked like he was having so much fun on those movies. And that was like one of those cool things. I was like, that looks awesome. And then you tie that in with Indiana Jones, like right after that was like my childhood growing up. Star Wars, the original trilogy, and Indiana Jones growing up. That was, I mean, him in particular is probably like a huge part of why I wanted to do this, why it looked like so much fun to do. And yeah, that probably is pinpointed right there.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of lines in there where I think Harrison Ford said he wanted to change it, where Princess Leia says, I love you, and he says, I know. And he
Mhm.
says, that sounds so much better for my character. But it's like, I love you too. And it's like, no, why would Harrison Ford, why would Han Solo say that? He would say, I know. But
Mhm.
it's funny because now everyone says that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I totally agree.
brilliant bit of improv.
I know, right? I love the behind the scenes stuff of all those of behind the scenes Star Wars things where it's just like that whole story in particular. It's just like the whole cast and crew are like something's not sounding right with this, and then it's just like Harrison Ford just drops the best line ever. So it's just awesome.
No,
Mhm.
absolutely. Now, next question I want to ask is Kay, is what is the biggest change you made in your life thanks to your acting career?
For me, I spent a lot of years kind of not following the path that I wanted to. I've always had this dream, but I was encouraged by my family and other pressures to do other things. So I did those other things, and I finally just looked at them and went, I'm going to do this now. Love you. And I think for me, that's the biggest change, was just deciding that enough was enough and it was time. Like, and I was tired of waiting for just like the right moment to start. And I just started. And that was the biggest change and the best change that I have ever had. And honestly, the other biggest change would be being cast in Bloody Summer Camp. And it's been incredible.
No, absolutely, Brandon.
So biggest change for me, obviously it's when you have, like kind of what Kay was saying, when you have something that you're very passionate about, you think about it a lot, and you actually just start actually pursuing it. That does, I mean, that plays a huge impact on your everyday life when you just know that there's something that you just love and you just want to do, accomplish, spend a good chunk of whatever time you have on this place doing that. I mean, I would absolutely agree with that. And then just acting as a whole, definitely it makes you see such like a bigger picture almost when you are on a set and you are on a production, whether it's, you have lines or your background or whatever, you see just like how many people are just, working like to the bone to get this thing together. And it just makes you super appreciative of the team effort, the collective effort that,
And all the talent.
yeah, exactly. That there's just so many people that are just, like a 5-second scene that just how much work it takes to film. Just, oh, that person's walking across the street. Well, that, it's kind of incredible. Like you know about it, but until you see it like firsthand, it makes you super appreciative of all the people who are there and trying to make the best product possible.
I hear you. As you mentioned about someone walking across the street, it reminded me of a scene in Family Guy where Peter gets distracted with a piece of plastic getting floated in the ledge. Like, it's so beautiful and majestic, and God yells that it's a piece of trash in their lid. Have you seen your digestive system? Yesterday I saw my mom. I don't think you remember she saw it or not, but Ted. Ted was actually a really good movie. Of course, it was like a Family Guy episode, but Ted, it's really funny. If you guys ever seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's actually, and Ted 2 isn't. I for a sequel, Ted 2 I actually thought was
Not bad.
had enough good moments where I was like, all right, it's a solid sequel. It's a solid sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny I should even mention that. There's some people I would love to have back on the show. There's some people I had like 3-4 times. Great episodes. Other people, it depends on the chemistry. I always give people a chance. But there's other people who are like, yeah, I'm not doing a sequel. Having you back on the show again isn't a bloody sequel. You're just it's continuing. Like, okay, this is we're going to be talking 2015. Now we're going to do a couple years later. It's like, hey, you finally had a background. You finally, taking this more seriously, before and after. But whatever, it's not about that. The next question I'm going to ask both of you is, what do you consider the biggest highlight in your acting careers? And Brandon, I'll start off with you.
It's me. Biggest highlight. Well, first of all, like Bloody Summer Camp is pretty high up there right now. It's pretty high up there. I would say the first time I ever got to be like on like a major set, that was pretty cool. That was a movie that Meg Ryan did, and so I got to meet Meg Ryan. So that was kind of cool. And I met her son Jack Quaid, who's like on The Boys now, but this is like pre The Boys, and like that was pretty cool. So just being on set and that kind of atmosphere was a pretty cool one. And there's been other things. There's been a lot of like cool little short films. I do the Adrenaline Film Project sometimes, where it's just 72 hours of just nonstop filming, and I've worked with people who are super new to the business and like just students, and honestly you can't tell with the films because it's pretty incredible what these people can do. So like I would say those three things stand out immediately for me in terms of things that I've done.
What about you, Kate?
Well, right now I think my biggest high from acting it has to be Bloody Summer Camp. I've got to cross so many things off of my acting bucket list that it's incredible. But also, like Brendan was saying, we work on a lot of us work on like the 72-hour film festivals and a lot of film competitions that are 72 hours, and they're really stressful, not a lot of sleep. And one year, the production company I usually work with, and they're a really awesome bunch, we drew both horror and musical. So we sat down and we wrote a horror musical in pre-production, production, and post in 72 hours. And I am so proud of the work that we accomplished. And I mean, like, pretty much any movie I get to sing in, I'm really like, I'm really down for. But it was really cool because, we all turned into glitter zombies. It's called Extra Shiny. It's on YouTube, but it's about 7 minutes long. It's not too crazy, but it was really creative, and it was really awesome it's always really awesome to work with them on these projects because it is so quick, and you have such an incredible group of different people from different backgrounds who have different skill sets, and it's really incredible.
I agree with you. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you some more hard-hitting questions and talk about disabilities and social media when we come back. So we're back from the commercial break. First thing I want to talk about is disabilities. With everything that you guys accomplished, obviously I don't know if you do or do not have disabilities, but while we're on the subject, with everything in the entertainment world, Kate, I'm going to start off with you. Have you worked with people with disabilities? And besides me, obviously, thank you. Are you willing to work with people with disabilities?
So I actually was in a musical with a deaf actor a couple of years ago. I was in Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he played Quasimodo. And it was really, really cool how he would sign his lines, and there was an actor behind him who would just sing his part. And it was such an incredible experience to sit and watch. And he's such an amazing guy on top of being so incredibly talented. I'm so grateful. His name is Alex Bryce, and I loved working with him. And I think that people with disabilities need to be more in the mainstream media, because we're all regular people, and they're not represented enough. I don't mean to say they are, you know what I'm saying. you know, and I just think that I would definitely be down to work with anybody with any disability.
No, absolutely. You know, like I said, labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's proved them and some out to something. And what about you, Bren?
I'm trying to go through everything. I believe I know I've taken plenty of acting classes with those disabilities. Deaf. I've someone who was a paraplegic. And like Kay said, you know, they're people, man. They, you know, you go up, you have a regular conversation with people. I don't understand why people think that you can't have like a regular conversation, because you know, it's one of those things that just baffles me, that it's just like, nah, man, like they enjoy eating a hamburger just like you. They enjoy going to the beach just like you. They enjoy, you know, a nice summer day just like you. So definitely with Kay on that, and just it's you know, stop acting like it's gonna be a problem, because it's never a problem, man. They're people. They've got passions. If they want to pursue acting or directing or producing, they, you know, have at it, man. Let them go. You know, let them do it, man. Stop with the, you know, like you said, the labels and everything. So totally down. I know I've worked with some in the past. I know whether it be productions or acting classes, and absolutely would work with future projects as well, man. I mean, like I said, it's just echoing what Kay said. They're people, so treat them as such.
Has anyone ever told you kind of resemble James Franco?
I have not gotten James Franco before.
I see it.
If you would have told me that like 1 or 2 years ago, I'd been like, cool. But all of a sudden, James Franco's gotten some bad stuff happened to him lately. So like, it's like, yeah. We'll do like 2019 James Franco. 2019 James Franco.
Yeah.
But that's the first. That's the first. I've never gotten James Franco before. That's cool. That's cool. I enjoy that. Cool.
You know, I didn't mean to laugh. I was just thinking, you know, you can't take everything seriously, you know, with disabilities and everything. I was just thinking, you know, about George Carlin, God rest his soul, one of the greatest comedians ever. And it's all about disabilities. You ever notice when you go to shake somebody's hand and you realize they don't have a complete hand? You can't do that. It's not even an option. What are you gonna do? You gotta make the best of it. Well, swell hand you got there. Give me free. But like I said, you know, you can't, you know, take everything so seriously. You have to my dad used to say, if you're not going to laugh, you're going to cry. So why not just, for my case, I don't know when, okay, enough is enough. So I try to turn everything into a joke. So that kind of pisses people off, but yeah, that's about me. But the next question I want to ask you about social media. Can social media make you or break you? And how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you? And Kate, I'm going to start off with you.
Okay. So I think as a young actress, young being relative, so somebody who's fresh, pretty new to the business, I use social media as a way to kind of market myself and just kind of show people who I am and like the kind of person that I am, that I try to be, and the kind of things that inspire me. So, I mean, I have an Instagram that it's K Surfs Roxy. So KAYSURFSROXY. You can follow me there, and I will definitely accept that request. You can also find me on TikTok for at K Leahy, KAYLEAHY. And my Facebook is on private, and I pretty much have friends that I have met that I know. So I usually keep that pretty private, but normally Instagram and TikTok is where I stick to.
Oh, I hope you can follow me on that.
Absolutely. I will.
And Brian, what about you?
So I think social media is very much double-edged sword. I think you can meet some of the coolest people on social media, and you can have some of the most interesting conversations on social media, and you can also have the flip side and just go down a very, very dark and negative rabbit hole that you don't know how you ended up there, but you ended up there. And so I enjoy social media. I have Facebook. It's mostly connected. My Facebook is kind of similar to Kay in that I don't know if I'm private or not, but it's mostly just for friends, close friends, things of that nature. I am on Twitter. It's Beavis1117. You'll see a picture of a guy in a pink shirt running around. That's me. I also have an Instagram. So I'm on there as well. Yeah, I very much like to keep up with certain things. I mean, I use social media now so much for news now that's one of the main reasons why I have social media, is just to keep up with news from around the world and different fields. But yeah, no, when I do use it, I am big on funny memes. I'm big on trying to just bring laughter, even if it's just a random stupid laugh to somebody. I enjoy doing that. So yeah, so that's how I kind of view and use social media.
No, absolutely. Now, one thing I do want to promote is June 10th at 5 o'clock East. It's going to be my 8-year anniversary. It's going to be a special episode where I'm going to do like a Q&A where people will, I don't want to repeat the same story over and over like the past doing past 5-8 years. I'm like, because everyone knows the same story. So for the episode, people will ask me questions and we can do a Q&A. It's going to be a lot of fun. I would love to have all of you with us. But the other question I want to ask you is, I've been coming up with different subjects. So this one seems a little interesting because everything going on in the media at the end of this month, finally the government gets off their ass. It tells everyone the truth, even though the religious fanatics are going to have a heart attack. How you guys feel about aliens?
Brendan, you want to start?
I am very much a believer that aliens exist. I mean, the universe is too big for them to not. Mm-hmm. I just think that yeah, they exist.
You know, it's funny because I just asked you that, and I and Kate, I got this wasn't directed at you or you hesitated. But when we were waiting for Brandon to answer, your mic automatically got very low as soon as I said government. It's kind of like, hey, I have nothing to hide. I'm not like a Muslim terrorist or anything, even though they're Trump supporters, but that's a different story. But anyway, keeping it on a positive note, yeah, as you said, the universe is massive. So just to think we're the only life forms in space, first off, you have to be really freaking arrogant. And right. God created everything. So just saying God created this and nothing else, it doesn't make any sense. You know, right. That goes to my next question with the last 2 minutes. Do you guys believe in life after death? And Kate, I'm going to start off with you.
So from my experience, what I feel in my heart, I've lost people really close to me. And I do feel that life does go on. It may not be heaven or hell, but I do feel like it goes on because I still feel, the ones that I love, when I need them, they're with me, and I can feel it. And I know it's them because, I remember what it was like when they were around. I remember what their hugs felt like, you know? So I do believe in something after death.
What about you, Brent?
Yeah, I do. I do believe there's a life after death. But I also believe that no matter what that may be, that no matter what you believe in that currently right now, this is kind of how I've tried to shift to a more positive outlook and everything. You only get kind of one shot at this life that you're in right now, no matter what you believe, whether it's whether there's a heaven, hell, whether you're going to come back as an animal in your next life, or whether, there's just nothing, it's just darkness after you die, whatever. You only get one shot at this one. So, do the best you can to make it one that you're going to be super proud of when you got, only a few seconds left and you look back on it. So, on a positive note, I guess. Positive note.
Yeah.
There you go. Bam.
I always look back at my old episodes about asking hard-hitting questions, and then we had like 3 minutes left. I'm like, I want to go back to my old work. But for me, not to be morbid, I always thought about if I die, I would love to do my life over, knowing everything I know now, see how it would turn out. But for anyone who knows me, I love Dragon Ball. And I was like, you know what? If I have to choose to do my life over, yes. But can I pick the Dragon Ball universe? Because I would love to have Goku and Vegeta and Bulma. I would love them to be part of my life too.
Straight up, my friend. Well played.
And all the anime food.
No,
I don't know how they do it. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. Yeah. No. Okay. Wait. Well, quick question. What would you want your finishing move to be if you were in Dragon Ball? Who would you choose?
There's a lot, but I've been thinking about Kaioken.
Nice.
What about you?
If it was me, I mean, the name says it all. I mean, I know he's got the Gallic on the Final Flash. Come on, man. If you have an attack called the Big Bang attack, come on, man. That's it. It's done. It's over. Give me the Big Bang attack, man.
Well, what do you think about Final Explosion?
Ooh. See, Final Explosion is excellent and epic in every way, but I would probably use it like the worst possible way. I'd use it like on some like noob enemy, and I'd be like, man, great. And then that was, especially with Final Explosion, I never understood, because I think it was in GT, which obviously isn't canon or whatever, but all of a sudden Goku was like, yeah, my buddy Vegeta taught me this move, and I'm like, how in the hell did Vegeta teach you this move and you guys are still alive?
Wrapping up our talk show segment, I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. It was a real honor and privilege having you guys on the show. And I just want to say, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. And as I always say, I'll catch you later.